We all love fast cars, but what we don't all love is having to work 2 jobs or take out loans that add to the crippling debt we got when our parents forced us to go to a college we never wanted to go to in the first place just because they didn't think being a pinball mechanic was a real career. Well, you know what, Mom and Dad? What I was trying to say is, you don't have to break the bank to get yourself a set of wheels that, with a little bit of money and of course some sweat equity, could go toe-to-toe with some properly fast cars. And you can find links to all the cars featured today thanks to Auto Tempest down in the links below. Today in Idealist, we've got 8 cheap cars that have unlimited tuning potential. Vamos! Catfish Camaro. Let's kick things off with one that's near and dear to our hearts here at Ideal. It's Brad's mullet phase in car form. The 4th generation Chevrolet Camaro looks a whole lot like nothing else on the road. It was a massive departure from previous Camaro design, and while it was polarizing when it came out, I think we kind of all agree that it looks pretty cool today. But looks don't win races. What does land you bragging rights at the strip is the fire-breathing V8 that lives under the hood. Now, you will have to find a later year SS model to get the all-aluminum LS engine, but even the non-LS packs a perfectly capable, albeit a lot heavier, LT engine. Both engines make strong numbers right out of the box, but the key here is the tunability. You can go mild with headers, intake, exhaust, maybe even a cam, or go wild with a supercharger, turbocharger, or keep it naturally aspirated with different headers. The possibilities are truly endless. And the best part is that these mods don't cost an arm and a leg, and they've been out long enough that the aftermarket parts have all been properly developed. So, if you're lucky, you can find an LS1 Camaro of your own for like $5K, or go to war at the strip with our next pick, SN95 Mustang. There's nothing in the world as all-American as a Ford Mustang, except maybe a Toyota Tundra. Well, sort of. Mustangs were quick way back in 1964 with the 260 cubic inch V8, and they got proper fast in 1968 when the legendary Carroll Shelby shoehorned the 428 Cobra Jet between the fenders. He badged it the GT500KR for King of the Road. But these old ponies don't hold a candle to what can be done with a few parts from eBay and a cheap SN95. Like the Camaro, the SN95 can be had with a powerful and reliable V8 that can be tuned to well over 500 horses. But unlike the Camaro, the Mustang benefits from a suspension and chassis that makes it a little bit more suited to the track. So go get an SN95 of your own for just $5K and get to work. You've got imports to embarrass. Speaking of imports, if Mustangs and Camaros just aren't your thing, consider one of these. FRS BRZ. We've been banging the Scion Baru drum here at Ideal ever since it came out in like 2013. In fact, I have it on good authority that Brad and Trev might be picking one up for a build series here on the channel. Don't tell them I told you. The FRS BRZ twins are a solid option for any car enthusiast. They're rear-wheel drive, available with a manual transmission, plus they're built by Subaru and designed by Toyota. There's a lot to love with one of these. The only box they don't check is raw, naked speed. In fairness, speed was never really what these cars were designed to do. They were built to pay homage to the classic British roadsters of yesteryear. But what separates these modern Japanese throwbacks to the old roadsters is just how tunable they are. So while you can throw on an intake here, a tune there, maybe an exhaust system, the real magic happens when you go forced induction. You can pick up an FRS or BRZ at like almost any price and then go nuts on a turbo kit for a few grand more. And since it's got the heart of a rally car as standard, throwing a few pounds of boost in there won't do anything but put a big smile on your face. E90 N54 and 55. You knew this one had to be on the list, and for very good reason. The BMW E90's 3 Series signaled an all-new direction for everyone's favorite German sports car sedan. Like with most BMWs, the styling was criticized upon launch, but has since become an absolute classic. The performance, on the other hand, it was always met with open arms. Opt for one with a 3, a 3, and a 5 on the back, and you'll be rewarded with a silky smooth inline 6, either with twin turbochargers or a single twin-scroll turbo in the later years. To be clear, repairs and maintenance do cost more in a BMW than other cars on this list, but hey, it's the ultimate driving machine for a reason, right? Throw down $1,500, you know, like less than you'll pay on rent this month, and you'll have 500 horses thanks to this single bolt-on performance pack. And always remember, you can sleep in your car, but you can't drive your house. Saab 9395 Aero. If you're anything like me, you've got a soft spot for Swedish-made cars. And while Volvo has made several that deserve a spot on this list, like the V70 or S60R, it's the turbocharged cars born from jets that get our recommendation on this one. The 9.3 and 9.6 both come with manual transmissions and both come standard with really solid turbocharged engines. Tuning alone will make these things proper quick, and if you expand the budget, well, the sky's the limit. The best part is they were built at a time when GM was paying the bill, meaning parts for the drivetrain are cheap. And I'm not just talking about repairs and maintenance, but for performance too. The 2-liter Saab LNF is literally the same Ecotec power plant from the Cobalt SS. And if you haven't heard, that version of the Ecotec is an absolute rock star. Just take a look at this. Now you could get yourself into this 9.5 for just $6K. Stuff some performance goodies under the hood, the trunk full of IKEA furniture, and your face full of meatballs, and you'll still clean up at the quarter mile. Golf GTI. As much as I want to stand here and tell you that the Miata is always the answer, and it is, if you can only have one car that you need to work with year-round and drive it through rain, snow, and you don't want to have to visit the Miata Logistics subreddit just to move out of your parents' basement, a Golf GTI is the weapon of choice. It's the car that invented the hot hatch. They're infinitely useful, ridiculously fun, and their loyalty knows no bounds. It's a car that's like your childhood dog. You'll make some of the best memories of your life with it, and every time it gets sick, there's no amount of money you wouldn't spend to keep it going. Mark IVs can be built easily and are crazy cheap, but get yourself into a Mark 5, 6, or 7, and with just a tune, you'll be looking at performance numbers that could make an STI blush. Go up from there with a big old turbo, some supporting mods, and the magic number of 500 horses is well within your reach. But if the GTI's a little too German for you, let's take a look at its sworn enemy.
Honda Civic.
Honda is low-key one of the most badass companies of all time, and their status in the automotive world is largely thanks to one thing, the Civic. Just check out Trav's vid right here on how they changed the global car market. While the Civic Si and Type R are usually considered the proper performance models, it's actually the unsung base models that deserve the limelight today. You can throw it back to the 90s and pick up an EJ, or pick and choose your way through the catalog pretty much up through today. The efficiency-focused 4-cylinder found in most Civics isn't only dead reliable, it's capable of churning out huge performance numbers. Now, we don't have time to get into the weeds about engine codes or debating about VTEC in this video, but if you're in the market for an affordable car that's basically got unlimited tuning potential, you just can't go wrong with a Honda Civic. SRT4. What's cooler than an American muscle car with a snarling V8 engine? An American car with a world-beating Turbo 4. We're talking the SRT4, the front-wheel drive, turbocharged American Econo rocket. Upon its release, it was the fastest brand new car in the world that you could buy for under $20K. And in our opinion at Ideal, this is peak Chrysler. SRT had just launched the all-new Japanese-designed SRT10, and the insane Magnum SRT8 and 300cc were just around the corner. And we got this. A front-wheel drive, hot version of the Neon, aimed to take down the best tuner cars in the world. Did it succeed? Well, maybe. I mean, they didn't sell a crazy number of them, but they are an absolute blast to drive. And they're the signal of the end of the DSM era, where Mitsubishi had a hand in development and design, although they really only handled the turbocharger and exhaust manifold on this one. While SRT4 prices have been creeping up lately, for like $6,500, you can find one that's still worth driving home, and those tuning possibilities know no bounds. Personally, I'm leaning towards a GTI. I'm ready to have some front-wheel drive fun. Plus, it'll make grocery shopping a whole lot easier because my Miata's trunk basically maxes out at a dozen eggs and a loaf of bread. Anyways, if you're new to Ideal, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel so that you can be the first to know when cool videos like these ones come out. Otherwise, I'm Garrett, and whatever car you're tuning to the moon and back, just keep on living that Ideal lifestyle.